Okay, so the question I got from a user this time was basically how can I report some entity information from my model? And so I have a really simple model here. This is not the user's model, it's just one that's related to what they told me. So I set up a task sequence that has three tasks. So you have the setup, which I misspelled here. So let me go ahead and fix that. Setup. And then you have a processing, and then you have a teardown. So a typical three-phase operation. And entities arrive, and I haven't changed any of the default parameters. So you just have entities arriving. You'll note also that I set the capacity to 2 because since we have three phases and I haven't changed any of the defaults, entities are going to arrive faster than I can process them. But when I set this to 2, at least it's not so bad. So what the user was requesting was they wanted to be able to report some specific information. Particular what they wanted to report was the flow time for an entity. So they wanted to record when an entity arrived at the server, when an entity departed from the server, and then the corresponding flow time. So the departure time minus the arrival time, and then wanted to report that on an entity by entity basis. So there are a couple of ways that I can do this reporting, and it really depends on what you're going to do with the information. But in this video, what I'm demonstrating is how to use the notify step so that I can use the trace to record or report the specific information. Okay, so the first thing, we have an entity, and what we want to report is entity-based information. Again, what we want to report is the flow time, so the arrival time, the departure time, and then the difference between those. And so to do that, I need to record that information as as entity states, because it's an entity by entity information. So I'm going to go to my model entity, definition states, and then I'm going to create those three states. So I'm just going to use real and say the arrival time, the let's call it departure time, and flow time. So let's just record all three of those pieces of information, and then we can look at the options for using notify. So I have the states defined, and so the next step is to record the values. So when an entity arrives at the server, I need to then mark that entity arrival time. So I'm going to do that using the state assignments. And so on entering, I'm going to assign. So I'm just going to go and add and assign model entity arrival time to be time now. So now we're recording the time that the entity arrived at the server. So the departure time is when the entity leaves. So I could do that and then compute the corresponding flow time. I could do that with a state assignment also. So I could also go to the, say, before exiting or something state assignment and do that. But because I want to demonstrate using the notify step, I'm going to use an add-on process to do that instead. So I'm going to go to my server and then go to add-on process. And then let's do this. I can either do it on after processing or exited, depending on when I want to record the specific piece of information. For this model, it won't matter. But depending on what your particular model does, you might want to choose one of the other of these two based on what you're trying to record. So I'm just going to do the after processing. So I'm going to just double click there and then create my add-on process. And so I'm going to use an assign step to assign that departure time. So my assign then is going to be model entity departure time. And we'll call that, record that as time now. And then I can compute the flow time now that I have the departure time and the arrival time. So I'll just add another assignment and record the value. Model entity flow time. And then my model entity flow time is model entity departure time minus model entity arrival time. And so now when an entity arrives, I use the state assignment property here to assign the arrival time. It will then go through the three steps in the task sequence, and then I use the add-on process on after processing to record the departure time and then compute the corresponding flow time. Before we get to the notify step, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check and make sure that it's recording the information that I want. So I'm going to go to my default entity and go to animation, and I'm going to do the dynamic label text and just set that to the flow time. So we do model entity flow time as the dynamic label text. And so now when I execute, when I run the model, we see that it starts out at 0 because we didn't set an initial value. Then we'll run for a little while. Oops, that happened too fast. So let me go ahead and set a breakpoint here. So let me go in and say I want to set a breakpoint, and then we'll just run. And now we can see the entity stopped at the breakpoint, and we can see that we are in fact recording the flow time. I could go back and check those values if I want, but for the purposes of this video, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to assume that it's correct, and we're going to move on to what we're really interested in, which is how to use the notify step so that I can record this information for all entities. Okay, so let's use the notify step now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in my process, and after I make the assignment, so remember what I did was I assigned the departure time and then assigned the flow time now that I could compute it. I'm going to use the notify step. So if you don't see the notify step here in common steps, then you can just see it, or you can find it in the all steps category. And then note what I did was I just right click, and then you can specify that you want to see it in common steps. If you do, if you are satisfied with it in all steps, that's fine. Also, I use notify quite a bit, so I moved it to common steps. And so I'm going to use the notify. And remember, what the notify let you do is record or report information. And so you have three basic ways that I can do this. I can either do it to the trace, I can do it to as a warning, and it will pop up a dialog box, and the model will let you continue, or I can do it as an error. So I'm going to use the trace, and I'm going to leave it as trace. And then the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use the color, which you'll see why I do this as we execute. So let's just make it that peach color. So now you can see that I have my assign is the default gray and my notify is the peach color. So there are two things that I need to specify, or at most two things. Well, not at most, but two optional things. I can either have the heading or the heading in the body. For our case, I'm just going to do a heading, and then we can go back in. I'm initially going to do the heading, and then we can come back in and make some modifications later if we want. So I'm going to do something really simple and just say I want to just report that flow time. So I need to first set this as a string. So I'm going to use the string from real function, and then model entity flow time. So I use the string dot from real function and then specified that model entity flow time, and that's all in the message heading. And so again, I have this going to the trace. So let me go back, and then I'm not going to turn trace on. We'll do that in a little bit, but let's for now not turn the trace on. But let's just go to Project Home and show the trace window, right? So I'm not tracing the model yet, but I want to show the trace window. And the reason I want to do that is because the notify step in trace will eject to the trace even when you have trace off, right? And so when I run my model now, you can see as entities exit and I hit that notify step, you can see the information that we wanted to report. So let me just pause it here. And you can see that we're notifying our notify step one, and it says, which entity was triggered that notify step. So you get the information on the entity, and then you get the heading for the notify step. And because we just have that as the flow time, that's all we see. We just see that numerical value of flow time. Of course, I could put something more complex if I want to have a message like, okay, I want to have the entity, for example, also. So let's go and edit this guy, and let's just add a string, entity, and then plus string from real, from real. And now let's this time do model entity ID plus, there we go. So we have model entity plus ID, and then what we need to have another space here. So let's put that in. And so now what we're saying is what I'd like to be able to do is have entity, so I have it in quotes, plus string from real model entity. So this is a number that's converted to a string, then add a space dash space, and then have the flow time. And so now when we execute our model, you can see that we have the entity information also from that we had in the entity column. We just recorded that as our as part of our header. And so if you want the message that you see in the trace to be more complex and more inclusive of information, what we simply have to do is make sure that we convert the real values or the numerical values into strings, and then we concatenate those together into a single string. If you want to put message content, you can do that too. So let's just do a simple one here. String from real. Let's do the, I don't know, arrive time. So model entity, model entity, arrival time. So there we go. Now we have message content, and you can just see what that's going to do. So when I run, now in addition to having the header, we also have the body. And so again, note that in the body, just like in the header, I could have, as complex of a string as I want, as much information as I'd like to display. I can do that by converting numbers to strings and then concatenating those together. And so finally, the last thing I want to show is that this information is automatically recorded to the trace file. So we have the trace.csv, and so let me just edit that here just a second. So let's just pull that up. And you can see that all of this information for the entire run is stored in the CSV file. So if you have replications or you have different scenarios, all of this information is recorded for you automatically in the CSV file. And so you can go in and do any kind of post-processing that you'd like to do. And so one more thing I meant to show also is that if I turn model trace on, I still get the information, right? But it's just, you have all of the other trace also. And so this is where it's useful to see how we're doing the trace colors, because if you scroll, we see a lot of information. And so it's easy to pick out those notify steps by using the step color. So I definitely recommend using step colors when you have when you're going to use the trace to find information about the process. Okay, so that's the video that I want to do showing how to use the notify step. This is something you should definitely experiment with because you can have, as I said, complex heading, content, and so on. And it's really, really a useful step. And so in almost every model that I do, I use the notify step during the debugging process, trying to make sure the model's doing what I think it should be doing, and so on, and then verifying the model behavior. So again, a very useful step that I tend to see a lot of times is really underused.